I just have to upload this to social media, so hold on.
Exhibit A. Cathy Kelley.
It's a lifestyle. Tag everyone.
Tag
your girl.
Tag.
Roman Gatsby.
The dog has a tag.
Gotta get all the tags.
First like, first comment.
Francia liked one time. Glad we got that done. That was really important.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back. And today I'm here with two of my best friends.
I was in my pajamas, not prepared to do this, by the way.
I know. What? Aren't they good friends? Today we are going to answer some of your questions that you've been writing in. But before we do that, last week I interviewed a friend of mine, Anna, who has no social media. So these guys are on the opposite end of the spectrum, and we've been friends for years. How did we meet? I mean, we could edit anything out, so. So we hated each other, now we love each other. It's like one of those romantic comedies for friends.
This makes so much more sense because I remember bringing you over to Francia's house and you were like, I don't know if she likes me.
I did, I remember that.
2 years later, I found out she's a pastor.
Yeah, this is how I do my friendships in LA.
And I apologize for everything I said.
I wanted to kind of, before we go into some of these questions, get your story in a sense and your experience of what it's been like to, I mean, Cathy, we were friends before what, I don't know how to deem it or term it, like a big break or anything like that. You were doing hosting well before what you're doing now.
Yeah.
But how did that feel to kind of have that happen?
I mean, I love my job, so I think that that's just, I knew part of going to work for the WWE meant, you know, putting yourself out there in a bigger regard, but I don't think that a number that you have on your social media should ever change you as a person.
Totally. That's why we love you. Has there been a psychological aspect to it though that kind of, maybe not, but like that does mess with you a little?
It's so crazy because I feel like years ago, and maybe this was just being younger and less confident in myself, is I feel like social media used to matter more to me than it does now.
So mature.
Once I turned 30, it's like...
It's all like from here, basically. Franz, you've kind of grown up a little in, if you'll allow me to say, the spotlight, and social media kind of came in a little later on with people knowing who you were.
So basically, I started this industry when I was 16 years old, and when I was 17 was when I booked Bring It On. Social media did not exist. So we did promos kind of just like everyone else did, word of mouth, you know, hoping for a commercial,
right?
Yeah. A magazine,
Billboards.
yeah, just hoping. And so social media didn't really come into play. I think Twitter was first, and I didn't understand it. And people were like, oh, you just have to tell people where you are.
I was like, this Twitter thing will never take off. Like 100 people, like, whatever.
And so I'm like, so I just tweet, hey, I'm at the Teen Vogue party. That's scary. So I was like, so I just wouldn't do it, but I saw that other people did it, and that's how I learned about stalking.
Remember Foursquare was a huge thing where like you literally would tag your location. I didn't do it, but I knew so many people.
And then finally, like, I gave in, and I had all these people following me, and I was like, how do they know me? I think, like, you know, whatever was public, you know, the TMZs of the world or the magazines, it was either a choice or they just kind of caught you. But now it's like, oh, I choose to put out private information about myself.
Right.
That's weird. So I was trained this whole time, like, keep your privacy private, and now I have to expose it, which is still something that I'm having a hard time with because I enjoy my privacy.
There is that line of like, what is too much? I remember like when we were younger, getting a disposable camera was the coolest thing in the world, and you had like 24 takes or 28 takes. You wouldn't know how they turned out, so if you took a photo and your eyes were closed, you wouldn't know until like a week later.
You couldn't fix the red in the eyes.
And now it's like, dude, I take like 60 selfies in one sitting and like get to choose my favorite and then like analyze and think that like my one favorite is actually really ugly.
But then text your friends and be like, hey, here's the top 5. Which one should I post? Like
that selfie I posted, and like when I look like Selena Quintanilla, and I was in her room. I had took that picture like a week prior, and I took like 7 photos, and I remember texting my sisters being like, is this pretty? Is this pretty? Is this pretty? And it took 3 days for me after they told me it was.
It's so real.
And it's so crazy because it doesn't matter
at
all.
And we can sit here and say it doesn't matter, but we still, that's why I am loving having this conversation, is because we can finally just talk about it honestly. And even if I posted on a selfie that I've thought about for 3 days and took to 60, at least we're having a conversation where it's like, you do it, I do it, we all do it, I know you do it.
Yeah.
And
That's why I love some of those pages that like kind of just talk about the truth of like what we do, like Instagram versus reality. I'm like, this is so real.
It feels. That's the great thing about social media is when it starts to feel like a community. It's
like you're human.
There are times when I feel like social media can make you feel really alone, and there are times when social media, even when you are alone, can make you feel like you have friends.
Oh, I'm gonna ask one.
This person says, or is it like you saying?
Yeah, it's actually all of my questions I've always wanted to ask you guys. Someone asked, they said, there's a lot of bad stuff we hear about social media, like a lot of complaints or a lot of like, be careful, it's the devil, or like things like that. But there's also a lot of really positive things about social media. What are some of those positive things that we can be focusing on using social media for?
The most recent thing that comes to my mind was National Mental Health Day, and I posted about that. That was something that I struggled with for a really long time, especially in high school. I went through depression, an eating disorder, and it was something that I felt really vulnerable sharing, and I hadn't really shared that with anyone other than my close friends and my family. I got so many DMs from people and text messages from people that are in my life that I had no idea, and to hear that, they said, was really helpful, because a lot of the time, like, we don't know what someone is going through. So much of social media is our highlight reel, and it's really important to take a step back and stop comparing ourselves to everyone's happiest moments, and realize that like people are doing life, and there are going to be crappy days and there are going to be great days where you're like laughing with your friends and whatever, and that it's okay to have both.
Yeah. I guess she's asking, like, she knows it in theory. Is there any ways you guys practically, in the moment, remind yourself, not real? Is there any practical ways? Now, for me, honestly, the new app on the new iPhone thing where you can limit the amount of social media you use. That's off at 10 p.m. because for me, that's when I know after 10 p.m. like my brain's just gonna Nothing's good. And so I'm putting limits, and thank you, Apple, it's helping me put limits on it. Yeah. But anything you guys?
That's fun.
Yeah. not sponsored. I mean, would be though.
When I catch myself comparing, I stop and I say, that's their journey. I have mine, and if I didn't get that part, it's because it wasn't meant for me. And I will get mine at the right time. But that's hard. I mean, and it's a choice, because you can either sit down and say, well, they're doing it, I'm never gonna make it, or you can say, I can work harder. So, and I choose the latter, obviously.
I think that part of it for me was having a really solid foundation of people in my life outside of social media. Like you guys, other friends, other family, and kind of distancing myself from the people that did compare themselves to other people. And it was this shift, I think maybe like 6 months ago-ish, where I stopped comparing myself to other people of like what I felt like I lacked. And when I'm on social media now, I feel like it's like, oh, that girl's pose is really cute, or like that girl's like outfit is really cute, I'm gonna save that. Like, I don't know, like I feel like that outfit. I'm like, okay, so what is she doing that like, where can I get like what she's having? Like,
very important question. Would you rather give up social media or coffee?
Social media.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Wait, I don't know.
Social media. Ready, set, go.
Next question.
Okay.
But what if I want to like, post a picture about my coffee? Your body can adjust to not having coffee, but like, if everyone else is having social media in their mornings.
What?
It's so sad that I don't want to give up coffee.
Yeah. Do you take social media breaks, and if so, how long?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure other people have done this, but I've replaced my Instagram icon with a Bible. So every time I'm like pressing, I'm about to look for my Bible.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, so every time I'm like, that's about to go where the Instagram is, it's my Bible. I'm like, yeah, still not reading the verse today. But
like, where's my Instagram?
I think for a while there, I had my sister posting for me because I really had to take a break.
Yeah, I have 2 phones because. Not a drug dealer, I promise. I have my work phone and I have my personal phone, and I had taken all of my social media off my personal phone and switched it over to my work phone, and I think that kind of shifted my mindset. And then I noticed that I was getting into a pattern of like, first thing when I woke up, I would like spend 5 minutes in bed and I would look at Instagram and whatever, and I stopped doing that. Like I realized the first 30 minutes of my day was not gonna be consumed looking at my phone. It was, okay, I don't snooze my alarm anymore either. I think that that's the worst thing that you can do because you don't get any more sleep. So
New Year's resolution.
right here.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll start January.
Use the
Cathy
sleep
Kelley.
cycle app. It like wakes you up very calmly, and then you get up and you start brushing your teeth and doing your thing, and then when I'm on my way to work or when I'm like at the gym or whatever, I'll check social media. But it's not my very first thing that I do in the morning. I think our generation too is like it's like therapeutic sometimes, or like it's
Some of the
entertaining.
articles
Yeah.
that people post.
And then there are like great inspirational quotes and hilarious things
The
and
Peppy
like
videos.
cute little
The puppies.
animals and like
My favorite.
I just saw this like baby like that was like wearing hair extensions and it was
What?
hilarious. I don't know, it was a really funny video. I'll send it to you.
When like soldiers come home and they're
Those
dancing
videos,
around.
though. Oh my god, that's real. Should it be a red flag when someone's profile is different to them? And what do you do if your significant other won't post you?
Oh. You can tell a lot about people from the things that they like on social media though.
Right.
Like,
I would say this: if someone is portraying a very different type of person that they are on social media than in real life, my biggest question would just be why. And I don't know if it's a red flag or not. It very much depends on the context.
sometimes it could be an insecurity.
Absolutely. If it's a dating situation and it's a very different person,
Yeah.
red flag, run.
And MySpace, which like just
Yes,
came out
MySpace,
my
top
senior year of
friends.
high school.
Oh,
And
MySpace.
yeah,
I forgot
that
about
yeah.
Top friends, that
Top
would
friends,
cause some
that was-
fights
yeah.
in school.
And I think
That's how I got
that
my ex cheating.
ooh.
Speaking of red
Yeah.
flags, final question:
Who's your favorite person? Okay.
in
well,
real
this
life
is really
ever? Like
difficult.
that's like Australian. What? Elise, stop. Okay, who's your favorite person to follow on social media?
I really like Mexican Problems just because it reminds me of my childhood.
Mine is my niece.
Aw.
Yeah, I know.
I was literally thinking my mom, and then I didn't want to
Yeah.
say my mom because I feel like she would watch this and it'll go to her head. So
Oh,
I'm not gonna say my mom.
I can't
You said Mexican Problems. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's hilarious. It reminds me of my family. It's hilarious. And
I
you guys
can't-
don't get it.
Yeah, I was like, I want to relate, but
Yeah, I love sending it to my sisters because we're like, that's our childhood. You actually asked a question that, we didn't answer, the one about posting. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, I noticed you guys didn't answer it, so I thought that y'all didn't want to answer it. So I was being a good friend and
Yeah.
moving along. Is it a problem if a significant other is not like posting?
You know what I think? I think that it's situational for every single relationship. I think that, in the past, like even with friendships, I've been like, wait, my friend isn't posting me. Like I've gotten insecurity is what I call it.
Ooh, that's
And in past relationships, I'm sure that that's come up. Like that's come up in my past relationships of whether like when do you post? Like do you post? Whatever. And I genuinely think that it's every single person's preference.
Yeah, I think it's all about being on the same page. If you're not on the same page and there isn't a logical reason why, then that's when I'm like,
Yeah.
She does the high pitch.
Oh, there's definitely been like guys that I've dated in the past where they follow like a ton of bikini models and whatever, and they're liking
Interesting.
photos all day, and you're like, okay, so
I can see the lights.
we just
right?
went out to dinner and you went home and you liked 30 photos of half-naked girls.
I think we're good here. Bye bye.
Cool.
Bye.
I really regret eating all of those tacos. No, I don't.
Have a good day. Okay, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for just hanging out and having a chat to me. Love you guys. I will put their links below because they have social media in the things.
I'm going to bed now.
Love you guys. I will see you guys soon. Bye.